everyone, my name is Lonzo Jackson, and I'm presenting you Isekai Quartet Reactor Tank Face top 3 hardest game, I think. Just enjoy the video, and
Hi, I'm Tankfish, and I have a severe case of Roblox-induced masochism. Have you ever looked at the Roblox game charts and thought,
all of these games are made for 6 years old iPad kids with 0 motor skills. They're all too easy and simple for my galaxy shiny brain.
Well, I'm here today to change that perception as I'm diving headfirst into the hardest and most complicated Roblox games known to man. Games that literally requires a PhD, all of your sweat and sanity, your entire social life, and at least 3 mental breakdowns just to get into. These games are meant for you to play and have fun. They're meant to break your kneecaps and make you question your existence. So buckle up and charge up all your remaining brain cells, because you're gonna need them to even comprehend what the hell is going on. Ever looked at the nuclear reactor and felt the primal manly urge to be like, yeah, I bet I can run that? Well, I got good news. The reactor is a game where you can put that theory to test and see if you really have the brain cells to, not cause a second Chernobyl incident and erase Earth from this plane of existence. Here, you play as an employee of the synthesis manufacturing company and are tasked with running a subspace reactor.
Mr. Fish?
Yeah, what's up?
What is a subspace reactor?
I don't know. Your job is simple. Keep this thing running and hit your energy quota, or else something much worse than being vaporized alive awaits you. Generational crippling death. That's right. Not only do you have a quota, anything that breaks during your shift also comes straight out of your paycheck. The mainframe server room caught on fire and got burned to the ground? That'll be 150k. CPUs are expensive these days, you know. The control room's radiation shield went offline and all the equipment got fried. Just sign this lifetime repayment contract and we'll take your firstborn as collateral. Your dumbass got a concussion, fell, and broke your legs? Don't worry, the American healthcare's got you covered. Now fork over 100 grand. Truly, I'm living the capitalist dream here. Now, all this might not sound that difficult until you get in the control room and see how the terminals and consoles. This is where my autistic ass had a stroke and almost died. But after hours of browsing the wiki, reading manuals, and watching YouTube guides, I think I now have a basic understanding of what's going on. Essentially, you need to keep the reactor's temperature and pressure in check. Too high, and it blows. Too low, and it shuts down. To control the core temperature, you have these cock and ball lasers to heat it up, and these coolant pumps to cool it down. Pressure is managed with these ventilation fans and an atmospheric vent button for quick pressure releases. In case of emergency, you can pull these emergency vent switches to rapidly drop the temperature. The PEA control determines the energy extraction rate, and the mass system and HDEF generator are there to protect you against the radiation. And that's pretty much the basic. Obviously, this is a massive oversimplification. Also, I skipped over a few things, so this video isn't 1 hour long. You probably don't need to know about these until you're screwed anyway, so you'll be fine. Of course, this is not all, because you also need to do maintenance around the facility to make sure everything is functional. Maintenance areas include the coolant pumps, the mainframe, the gravitron, and the reactor itself. You'll get tools and equipment for repairs, plus a synthesis machine to craft whatever parts you need. Now, this to break house has a tendency to turn itself into the sun, and trying to meet the quota while keeping the reactor stable can be a challenge, because cranking up the temperature to boost output also makes the core want to commit nuclear rage quit. And just when you think you got everything under control, the game hits you with an energy fluctuation event and everything starts blowing up. I swear, all the alarms and alerts in this game are straight up giving me auditory hallucinations. Like I was still hearing beepings and warnings 2 hours after playing this. However, watching my body try to fix the reactor only to get disintegrated by the core is always funny. Totally worth the tinnitus. 10 out of 10. Imagine 2B2T on steroid in space, and that's pretty much what this game is. At first glance, Waste of Space looks like a nice simple survival game where you collect resources, craft items, build bases, make spaceships, explore the galaxy,
And expand.
but quickly you'll realize the iceberg goes deeper. The game runs on a persistent world, which means the suffering never ends. Whatever you make stays there while you're offline, completely at the mercy of whoever decides to visit. So you better get your ass to some safe remote locations and pray no chud with 500 points. stumble upon your creations. Or me, cause I'm just gonna drew all your stuff, like what I did to this Dylan guy. Thank you, Dylan. Mwah. No, that sounds a bit complex, but nothing too crazy, right? Wrong! Cause the devs had the genius idea to give players the capability to add codes and scripts. It's like Minecraft Redstone, but on crack. And that's when it hits you. The real gameplay isn't about survival. It's about math and Lua scripting. People have made shit printing factories, intercontinental ballistic missiles, psychological weapons of horror.
You really did turn into the imposter.
Autonomous drone swarm defense grid. A Dyson sphere. The fucking
Exterminators!
Like apparently there's a network of live sensors across the galaxy that sends alert to an external server every time someone sets foot in the area. Like I would tell them to get a job, but that's likely impossible because they're probably computer scientists. And well, to lay up hits hard, man. Obviously, I don't have the brain cells. So instead of automating my crafting process, I resort to mass child labor. Instead of programming my turrets to self-operate, I just throw a couple dudes onto them, then watch them blast anything that moves. And instead of making my missiles guided by AI, I simply let a bloxa guide them from the inside. My child, you are the missile. Truly, it's AI versus the indomitable human spirit. Since you can import builds from Roblox Studio to the game, the possibilities of what you can make are absolutely endless. This game is literally a build-a-boater's wet dream. And the only thing stopping you from materializing your imaginations are waste of space motherfuckers who will ask you if you're STAing. And regardless of your answer, wipe all your progression and spawn kill your ass for no reason. Hell is truly other people. Anyways, speaking of space war crimes, we can talk about today's back to the video. I mean, this video is about hard games, not fun games. Rogue Lineage, for those of you who don't know, is the alcoholic abusive dad of Deepwoken. There's zero hand-holding here, so for a while, you'll play as a clueless peasant, wandering aimlessly around the world as you get mercilessly abused, until you finally decide to go check up a guide online and realize you're supposed to grunt XP from like this one monster that everyone else is also farming, so good luck not getting ganked. Next, you choose either the orderly or chaotic path to grind, so that eventually you can get your super class, then your ultra class. We don't talk about uber class here. PvP is everywhere, and since everyone's a psychopath here, there's no mercy. Whenever you die, you lose all your items, and if you die 3 times, your character gets wiped and you start from scratch. Unlike Deep, you don't get a get out of jail free card where you can just take an elevator and beat up some black guys to get all your lives back. Here, you have to hunt down a rare artifact just to earn back a single life. Technically, if you choose the orderly path, you can progress without killing a single player and just relax in a laid-back walking simulator. However, no, we don't do that here in Rogue Lineage. We kill, we loot, we burn. Yo, what? Yo, free homeless? The gameplay experience is like Dark Soul Battle Royale, Trauma Simulator. It's as if all the bosses are player controlled and are roaming around the map actively hunting for your ass because you're nothing but experience for their progression. Playing this game is like walking down in Compton. At any moment your ass could be jumped. And since only sweaty tryhards who've been grinding for years are still playing this game, as a newcomer you're pretty much just gonna get molested. Also, everyone's teaming here, bruh. I swear, the moment you lay a finger on a bloxa, 2 ultras will show up and beat the living shit out of you. It's supposed to be a fucking RPG. What role am I playing? The fucking victim? After playing these games, I've literally got no brain cell left because they all got smashed up by that Oni in Warsfall. These games were definitely a traumatic experience. If you, for whatever reason, ever decide to play one of these games, I highly recommend you to invest in a therapist and ask him if it's really worth it before you end up with permanent brain damage. Anyways, that's it for the video.